Shaheen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to each of our nominees today, and thank you for your willingness to continue to serve this country. Ambassador Lockdear, Indonesia has made real progress on women's rights and empowerment, but as we know, there's still a lot of work to be done. Can you talk about what more you can do once confirmed in your role as ambassador, and what the United States can do to promote women's leadership throughout Indonesia and Southeast Asia, including through ASEAN, which now has a Women, Peace, and Security plan, which is very exciting.
Thank you, Senator. So, thinking about this, so I think the MCC2 compact has a specific pillar, I don't know if that's the correct term, focused on women and women's economic empowerment. I am very aware that USAID has also focused a lot of their efforts on maternal health, HIV/AIDS, health that affect women and children. I also know the embassy has, and through my own experience in Malaysia, focused through exchange programs, through Waisili, through entrepreneurship for women, STEAM for girls and women in terms of the educational sector, on giving greater education and opportunities for women. I think Malaysia has a very large youth population. One of the statistics that is interesting is the number of Indonesian women in the formal workforce is very low. And so if you want to create the dynamic of greater economic prosperity, bringing your women into the workforce and giving them effective jobs. I think I could keep going. I think you sense that this is of interest. So I am committed to this for the benefit of Indonesians and for our partnership. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I think it's also important to point out that nations and societies that empower women tend to be more stable, and as you point out, have more economic prosperity. So there are very good foreign policy reasons why this is something that we need to embrace and support. Ms. Stone, the Marshall Islands continue to maintain diplomatic relations with Taiwan, but also do a lot of trade with China. I was disappointed to see that Nauru announced its decision to no longer recognize Taiwan, and that Tuvalu is also considering whether it's going to continue to recognize Taiwan. So can you talk about how China views the Marshall Islands? Are they a target for economic and geopolitical influence?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. And I know you in particular have been very active in developing strategies and policies to counter China where they're overstepping their bounds. So thank you very much for that. I agree that the PRC is targeting Taiwan's most vulnerable partners. And certainly we have an obligation to work with our Taiwan partners to show concrete and actionable value on continued relations with Taiwan. It's certainly something that we're going to be looking at very carefully, and China often overpromises and underdelivers when they're trying to activate these flips. If confirmed, I commit to working very closely with Taiwan's representatives to communicate our shared democratic values, which is a very valuable thing in democratic RMI, and also our concrete ability to be a true long-term partner to advance the opportunities for the people of Marshall Islands. I also note that we are somewhat hamstrung by the fact that the United States has been lacking ambassador-level diplomatic representation for a while in Majuro, and that does hamper our ability to communicate clearly with the government of Marshall Islands the need to be cautious when dealing with the PRC. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And clearly, when China has diplomatic presence that is much actually much broader than the United States right now. Anytime we don't have ambassadors on the ground, it's a real detriment to our national security and foreign policy. Let me also observe that I think many of us saw the horrific pictures on the news in the last week about the impact of climate change and the waves on our base in the Marshall Islands. And the Marshall Islands have really been a leader on trying to raise the concerns about climate change and the impact on small islands and countries like the Marshall Islands. So I hope you will continue to encourage them to speak out, and that we will do everything we can to support those efforts. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.